What'd you do?
There we go.
Yeah, push play on that. Hello. Checking in. Welcome to Phi Tribe Live. Is that working? Let's see. Can you all hear us? If you guys can hear us, go ahead and join us in the chat real quick and give us a thumbs up. The moment I know that all the audio is working and good, we'll fire these cameras and get that going. Welcome to the Phi Tribe live stream. If you're wondering why you got the alarm bell and you never signed up for this, it's because you're probably sleeping to one of our sleep tracks. And if you can imagine, you're getting some great experiences from the sleep stuff. That is an exoteric experience of what Phi Balance is, and this show is more of an esoteric experience of what Phi Balance is, which is heavily philosophical and has a million different ways you can apply it to your life. So I hope you tune in and ask some really cool questions about what this is about, and join us in the chat room and definitely ask some questions right now. And if you're not in the chat room, then just join our social medias. Instagram, we are Phi Tribe 369, and we're also on Facebook at Phi Tribe, and we are Phi Tribe on YouTube.
And now on TikTok, actually.
Oh, we're on TikTok too now. That's right. Phi Tribe Music on TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah, right on. Okay, well, let's see.
Let's
Here we go.
get
All right.
Going. What's up? Yo.
Welcome. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes, it is very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Episode 3, right?
Episode 3, yeah. I mean,
so
we've got like over 2,000 views so far for our first couple of episodes. It's pretty amazing, and the comments have been pretty amazing, so I hope you guys will continue to do those. And I think you're really going to like tonight's episode. Tonight, we're going to get into self-awareness and what that's all about and how it relates to Phi Balanced music and Phi Balanced lifestyle, really, is what we're talking about.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And, so I guess we'll recap on who we are a little bit. My name is Ford, and this is Ford with Phi Tribe.
And I'm Mike,
Yeah.
and we are Phi Tribe.
So we are the producers making the music for all the sleep stuff that you're listening to on a nightly basis, and we thank you for that. All, 165,000 every single night, I think.
Yeah.
We have. It's amazing. Pretty amazing. So thank you very much for the continued nightly support.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And being a part of this amazing experience and experiment, really, on like the power of what we can do when we finally get music tuned to the right settings.
Exactly.
You know?
We finally get it right.
This is Mike had a great expression for it today. He says this is music 2.0, and it really
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
We're reinventing what music
I like
is.
that. I like
Yeah, it was your quote, man. So anyway, thank you for joining us here today, and we just want to say that besides sleep music, that we have a whole bunch of different categories of music. And just to quickly say what Phi Balance is. Phi Balance is a method of producing music that aligns through fractality a bunch of mathematical constants. And when you do that, you come into what's called Phi Balance, and it's gonna, through a sympathetic resonance, it's gonna help you get more centered with yourself. And it's going to have an effect on your physiology, your body. It's going to have an effect on your psychology, your mind. It'll have an effect on how you see the world and how you view culture and the conscious interaction with culture. So it's very, very deep. It's a very, very deep thing.
Yeah.
And
no, I like what you just said, and just to add one thing, I just thought of while you were saying that was that you mentioned sympathetic resonances, which is what we've talked about that before, and we'll probably talk about it 100 million times because it's a big part of Phi Balance. But you mentioned that that it can transform your life, it can change your life, and the way that you see things. And there's a quote, and I forget who originally said it, but it's something along the lines of, if you change the way you see things, the things that you see change. Yeah. And that's super true, and that's Phi Balance. That's a big part of this, is looking at things differently and changing things inside, and that having an effect on your outer world too.
Totally. Yeah, have you ever been to one like a museum where they have those art pieces where it's like a whole bunch of junk laid out, but if you stand in just the right angle, it forms a picture of like Tesla or Einstein or something like that. Right.
Those are really cool.
So Phi Balance is kind of like that. If you're out of balance, you're viewing that art from a very odd angle that it just looks like a bunch of junk. It just doesn't have there's no coherence to any of the pieces that are coming together to make that visual puzzle picture. And when you stand in the right place, as you move your perspective, as you shift your perspective to one that's more centered, looking what would be centered onto the art project that the artist wanted you to see, suddenly the picture comes into formation and it starts to formulate and come through coherence, seeing a picture take place before your eyes. And it's really a magical thing.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, there's a lot of YouTube videos that show that too. It's pretty amazing. But the reason I say that is that that's kind of like life. It's a perfect metaphor for Phi balance in life. You know, when you're out of balance and out of sync with the world, you're reacting to the world, and because you're reacting, you're no longer centered, and you're kind of like instead of being the net of tennis, you're with this player, and then you're that player, and then you're this player. You're constantly recovering from the moves that you make to react to your life, and you lose sight of the truth. You lose sight of the big picture, and when you can come into balance and see the big picture, it's hysterical, because it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I've been so fooled by this thing, and it's been robbing me of my happiness. And that's some amazing stuff that you can get out of this. So yeah, pretty incredible. So anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah. So I just want to remind people to, if you guys got questions, put them in the chat. We're gonna we're gonna let some build up, and then we're gonna answer a few of them in a row. And we're gonna take a few times throughout this live stream to do that. So yep, just drop them in there if we say something that we need some clarity, or if you want us to talk about something specific, please just put it in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you for participating. And Jeff couldn't make it tonight. He is feeling under the weather, so it's just the two of us here tonight.
Yep,
and
just us two.
We have we have Atlas filling in.
That's right, and now we got the Atlas cam
set up.
Yeah.
So when the snoring happens, you know who the culprit is.
Yep, there he is.
So anyway, so tonight we're going to talk about self-awareness. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Phi balance and self-awareness.
Yeah, we were thinking about what we needed to say to prepare for this, but we were kind of looked at each other and we're like, this is what we talk about every single night anyway. It's like our thing, right?
It is. It's definitely our thing.
So not much to prepare for other than to maybe give you guys some backstory on our experience with self-awareness. For me in particularly, I can tell you that it happened on July the 5th, 2008.
July the 5th. You remember the date?
I remember the date. And you know what was crazy is it happened on that date, and I had no idea why it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen on July 4th. I felt something building up for a couple weeks, you know, like I knew it was going to be a big experience. Yeah. And I thought, okay, if the universe is going to give me something, it's going to happen on Independence Day, you know? So I prepared for Independence Day and had a very cool psychedelic experience, and but nothing spectacular. I was very disappointed, you know? It's kind of like, you know? Right. And then, and then the next day is when it happened.
Next day.
I woke up in the morning, and it happened when I woke up. It woke me out of bed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So anyway, self-awareness is getting into balance, like I was trying to describe with that art piece. And when you can shift your perspective to a more balanced perspective, and I cannot, you know, we're going to point to this a lot, but I cannot tell you what that is exactly like. It's different for everybody because we all have a different perspective of it. So we're all coming from a different pathway to get there, you know. But we'll just continuously point to what self-awareness is, and what self-awareness is pointing to is the eternal present moment. It's a place where you can clearly be in the present moment, fully aware that past and future don't exist, that they actually bloom out from the present moment. It's a pure state of bliss and a place of absolute awareness and gnosis and realization. And in that place, it can be quite astonishing. And if you, as Terence McKenna says, if you can not give way to the astonishment, there's an amazing experience there of non-experience, and realizing that there never was. It's just this continuous dream for eternity that never ends. And you realize there's no death. You realize that There's no escape. There's just refinement.
Yeah.
There's just refinement of how you perceive it. And that's what working on yourself is all about. And you work on all of these impurities, these things that the ego has attached itself to. And then you release it and you start to become more balanced. It just becomes this cycle of you get balanced and then you work on yourself, you become more balanced, then you work on yourself and you find more balance. And you just get better over the years, over time, which is a joke in itself because there's no time. But
over time.
So that's me pointing to it. Mike, you want to?
Yeah, no, I like your metaphor of refinement. That's it's a really great one. I think that's the point, you know. And I think that Phi Balance in applied to that is it's a catalyst, and it's like a tool. And I think that its application of not only just the like you mentioned the esoteric side, which is just listening to the music and thinking on that, letting it do its thing on your body and stuff, but also on the esoteric side, there's the outside and the inside. Inside is your things like your emotions and your thought patterns and the way you perceive things. So your perceptions on the world, and then changing those and starting to align your perceptions with healthier thoughts and healthier perceptions of yourself and of the world. And as you start to do that, things change. I mean, that's any self-help book is going to tell you that, you know, but what they're not going to tell you is that it's by the same process of that sympathetic resonance is just thinking these thoughts as vibrations, as their frequencies, and the frequencies of the music are matching that. So you're bringing everything together in tune. You're tuning this instrument of your mind, and you're getting all that together and directing that in a beneficial way. And I think what I love the best about it is that, like, it's refinement, but you know, there's no way. This isn't something that could be nefarious or you could take this in some kind of negative path. There's only one way of Phi balancing, you know what I mean? There's only one alignment that you can get, and it ends up making you healthier and better, and that's it. That's the alignment, you know?
Yeah.
As you get in tune, that's the byproduct. It's like as you tune an instrument and it gets more in tune, it sounds better, and that's the byproduct. You're never going to tune an instrument and then it sounds worse, you know? So
right. Your life is instantly better.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like a drag working on yourself. Like,
it sounds like a drag working on yourself.
Work on myself. God, no.
It's cool.
I work enough, but it's not like that. It's not like that at all. You're inspired to work on yourself, and then you immediately experience the results from working on that self.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, maybe if I did that, I can work on it a little bit more. And you just take these little baby steps of working on yourself. You know,
right.
And a lot of that, like, what does that even mean? And what does healthy thoughts mean? Like, what does that even? How does one have healthy thoughts? And to say this the most simply, I would say that it's a reconciliation of opposites, and that takes an enormous sense of self-worth and integrity, and compassion. That's the biggest thing is compassion, because you have to look at things for the good that they bring into the world and for the bad that it brings in the world, and realize that it's all good, the good and the bad. They're necessary aspects. They're necessary attributes of that thing to bring it into being. And when you start to look at the world that way, that is to look at the world through rose-colored lenses, you know, which is the highest vibration, by the way. Rose.
Yeah. Isn't that red?
Red.
It's red. That's like
the scent is the highest of the frequencies.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, there's an interesting story that Alan Watts talks about with roses, and it goes to what I was just saying, which is and I think he's quoting Carl Jung, and he says that if we consider the rose is the purest essence of life, then the cow, I'm badly paraphrasing this, but the cow manure is the thing that's attributing to the beautiful scent of the rose. Because without the manure,
Right. Yeah.
without the shit in your life,
Right.
the rose can't be refined. And it's through the refinement that it becomes beautiful and smells great and all the things that a rose is.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And that's what's seeing the good and the bad in things. That's seeing the whole picture,
Right.
And when you can do that in your life, you are what's called self-aware.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, I like that. That was beautifully said. I think we got some stuff building up in here in the chat. So
Right
before
on.
things get out of control, let me
Thank you guys for
hit some of
contributing
these.
to the chat. It would be awesome.
Yes.
I would love it if you guys would just back out for 1 second and hit that like button, because unless you guys hit the like button, YouTube has no idea who to recommend this to.
That is true.
And it just goes off to
Yeah,
podcast land.
it does. Yeah.
And we think this is something that we're sharing that can change the world. I know that sounds like crazy talk, but like, you'll see, you'll apply it to your life and you'll be like, holy crap, this changed my life. Now scale that out, and then you'll see what we're trying to do here.
Right. So Joseph says, hi, how can Phi teach more people as the detail of what it offers and how it actually affects the humans so massively? So I think what's being said here is that, or how can we reach more people by telling
Through you.
by you guys? Yeah.
Share it with your friends.
We're getting it out there, but share it with your friends, share it with your family. Tell them that this is something that can help them in a lot of different ways, which it can.
You can, this conversation of self-awareness is a very, very amazing conversation to have. But unless you have had the experience of self-realization, it is going to be very difficult to teach. And that is almost like a prerequisite to teaching it, because you have to be able to stand in the place of the nothing to get what it is. And here's the thing, every single person that sets out on this path is going to have that experience. It doesn't skip anybody. You don't have to go to India and meditate 14 hours a day. You just have to be setting an intention of this is what you want, and it will happen. Ask and you will receive. It's very, very true. So to spread this message out to the world, I need your help. We need your help. Tell a friend. Do you have a friend at work or somewhere that's grumpy because they're not getting enough sleep? Help them out. You'll be helping us out and helping yourself out.
No doubt. Yeah.
I saw a great meme today by Kelly Prime that she posted. It was about the awakening gosh, I don't even know who I saw the meme. Forgive me for who I'm quoting here, but it was talking about the insomnia and that how there's this worldwide thing going on with insomnia, and they were attributing it to this global awakening that's happening. That is very, very apparent.
Yeah.
We can be as scientific as we want, but there's no denying that there's something happening, some kind of massive awakening that our culture is changing and shifting.
Definitely, our culture is changing
on a massive scale.
Massively, quickly.
So they were suggesting that this awakening causes stress that many can't articulate, and it keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
So, I can say the same thing, that it was like that for me too. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, like all kinds of weird stuff. Feeling like you're getting a sense of a download. You'd be like, which is so hippie, like, oh God, here's the hippies talking about downloads. But it does feel like that. It feels like you're getting this dump of information.
Yeah. Joseph also follows up with, you two are talking about the real work, many coming to awareness. The work in life is not quite what they were taught.
Yeah.
I think that's very true.
Very, very true. Yeah, the real work. I mean, look, if anybody who thinks that you're just going to take some ayahuasca and then you're going to come back and you're going to be enlightened,
that's not how it works.
It doesn't work.
You'll be enlightened to the things you need to fix about yourself.
Yeah,
that's about it.
You'll be enlightened that there's something to become enlightened to, but that's all you really get. You get what's called as a glimpse. Yeah, and psychedelics are great for that glimpse, but they are not the thing itself. Yeah, they're just a tool. They're a tool. Yeah, the self-work is amazing, and I highly recommend it to everybody who seeks, for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever you want to call it, the work, just self-help or self-love or just dealing with, trauma, all of those things. I mean, there's no downside.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes, I'm not, but it's worth it. And that's what's at the core of Phi Balance, is getting down to that and balancing yourself at the lowest level,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
deepest level, I should say.
Yeah. It works you right up the chakra. A lot of the trauma too, like whether you experience direct trauma that you can be like, oh yeah, this happened to me, or whatever your story is. But the biggest, it's really just like those events are attributes of an overall trauma, which is the conformity to culture. We come into this world very, very unique. Each of us are totally unique in our own way. But the only way we're accepted in society is if we conform to the rules of society and what society is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a trauma to that.
Yeah.
That you may not even be cognizant of, but those are things that haunt you like throughout your life. And that haunting is what's called the shadow. And it's the shadow is a whole separate personality that every single person on this planet has, and you develop it when you're a toddler. And it's an alter ego, and this is the ego you go. This is the personality you go to when you escape. When you're
Mm-hmm.
home alone and no one's around.
Right.
Who's that person? Get to know that person. Make friends with that person, and you're going to become a whole person.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. You have to kind of reconcile with yourself for sure. If you don't, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't run away from yourself. You can't. You can try, but
You're always you.
You're always you. Yeah. Eventually, you're going to be by yourself. Eventually, and yeah, like you said, who are you when you're all alone? Who's that person? Get to know that person.
Yeah.
Be that person's friend.
Forgive it.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is my life's. This is the cards I was dealt. This is it.
Yeah, but it has to. That's something that you have to work at. To get to know yourself and have the true self-awareness of seeing yourself without judgment, of being aware of both your shadow aspect and your the other side of you as well.
Yeah, totally.
And like through that process of reconciling those opposite ends or those two things,
yeah,
you get balance.
The reconciliation of
Mm-hmm.
opposites. We got Atlas is giving us a little show over here, a little snoring.
Yeah, he's chopping, cutting logs over here, sawing logs, as they say, right?
He's just getting warmed up, I think.
Yeah. We should have got him his own mic. HD
Atlas snores. So let me pull something up real quick while you're looking for a question.
Sure. Yeah.
And
pull something up.
I'm just gonna put up a graphic that I want you guys to take a look at. And let's see.
There we go.
Okay, so what you guys are looking at, this is a yin yang. This is the symbol. You'll see here that it's very, very important to me. I wear it around my neck. This thing never comes off. Mike's got it tattooed on his body. It's very, very it's important. The most important symbol, really, that there is here. So I'm going to flip it back here, and I really want you guys to take a look at that. And just meditate on it. If you can meditate on that symbol, it's unending what can be revealed in that symbol right there. It's very, very deep, deeper than you think. So a little background on this symbol, and this is going to be so ironic when I tell you the whole story. But the symbol itself is attributed to Lao Tzu, who is the Tao. He's old philosopher, 5,000 years old. This is like the basis of where everything came from. This is before Buddhism. This is before everything. Not before the Hindu, but it's pretty old. 5,000 years is old. Anyway, Lao Tzu said even though he is the first to have drawn the yin yang, he said that he was not the one who came up with it. That the symbol is older than life itself. It's something he pulled from his mental picture, and he attributed the creator of that symbol to be not something that he could take ownership of. It was transcendent of the human experience. It was transcendent of all experience. It was transcendent. It's, in fact, it's the irreducible of everything, and not quite the Philosopher's Stone, but in a different way, in a different way of looking at it. And we'll get into the Philosopher's Stone later, but for right now, I really want you to look at this symbol here, and just what do you see? Just meditate on it a little bit, and just tell me what you see. And a lot of people will see that there's two colors here. It's a black and there's white, and the white is the is the yang, and yin is the black. And what else do we see here? There's all these dual aspects when we look at with the yin yang. We see positive, negative. We see good, bad. We see all aspects of duality, right? And we can see in how all these archetypes of duality are pervasive throughout our culture. It's literally everywhere you can see. So if you can see that this symbol is present in everything, that is what self-awareness is becoming. That's what self-awareness is. When you can see the duality in everything, you're no longer caught in it.
Right. Yeah.
So when I look at the yin yang, I'm not identified with either the white or the black of the waves there. What I'm identified with is the wholeness of both. I realize that I am the full thing. I am both the white and the black, all contained in one circle. I'm the wholeness. And you can see that, as I was talking about before, with your shadow self. You got the self, and then you've got the shadow self, and we go our whole lives pretending that shadow self doesn't exist until it roars its ugly head, and we still don't really know what that is. So getting in touch with that, and this isn't something you're going to achieve in a month or 6 months or 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. It's a lifelong process, lifelong. But every time you take a step, you're going to see a result. In life, your life will significantly improve to the point you're like, holy crap, man.
Right. And that kind of brings us full circle back to the sympathetic resonance. Is that action step is a step on what you desire, the thoughts and the emotions around what you're trying to achieve. And by taking that action step towards that, I mean, that's taking an action step based on something harmonic to that end goal. And that's sympathetic resonance in action. You're using that energy to resonate towards that thing that you want, or that state of being that you want. And that's what's at the core of Phi Balance is sympathetic resonance. And that's what this is a tool to help you do.
Yeah. And as corny as it says, what you're describing is law of attraction.
Right. Yes, it's exactly it. That's exactly it.
But he, Mike is giving you the mathematical interpretation of that, which is, it's all math. Everything is math. It all comes down to this, comes down to sound, vibration, number, shape.
Everything is math, and everything is music.
Yeah. Everything has that. Yeah.
We got like a bunch of cool stuff in the chat.
Bring it on.
We can hit the chat.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys, as we talk, if you guys got questions or stuff, put them in there. We're going to keep talking, and we're going to take some breaks to answer questions all at one time. So we're going to take a second to answer a few questions right now. So if you guys got any, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Valerie says, how is Phi Balance produced beyond just tuning of instruments, energy work, frequency combinations, etc.? So a lot of that is our proprietary thing, but I think what we can say is that it is more than just tuning. It's a lot more than just tuning, but it's making the music very, very highly fractal towards one particular state, I guess is a good way of saying it. Yeah. So there's a lot of layers of different things all working together to push you towards a desired state. I think that would be a good way to say it.
Yeah, I think that says it perfectly. Perfectly. And it's a harmonic experience that is in alignment with reducing reality to its simplest forms. The simplest tone, the simplest shape, the simplest.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
Right, and balancing you to that, the foundation of what the foundation of reality is made from at that for that frequency or for that state. Yeah,
we do use specific frequencies and then things around them, but it is it's a combination and an orchestra of many things working together to help that.
Yeah, this is why it takes them so long to put these things out. They do take quite a long time to put together, because even though we're musicians, it's a different way to think about making music. There's a lot of things you have to prepare before you go into it, just so that the math works out. So you don't get all the way down the line and realize, oh, none of this is going to work out. So it's anyway.
So. I think hold on, let me see. Let me back up just a little bit. There's a bunch of stuff in here.
He's ripping it.
Yeah, he's sawing more wood. Okay, and we got a bunch of you guys here in the chat.
Awesome.
What's
all this
up, everybody?
Participation.
Yes.
You guys get an A
Love
for
you guys.
You guys get a Smurf participation.
A Smurf.
A Smurf.
All right. Let's see here. We can get to. Yeah, you guys are really blowing this chat up. Heck
awesome. Yeah. Love it. And, if you guys have ideas you would like for us to talk about, I read every comment. So don't be afraid to leave a comment and I'll answer you. And, to help us, tell us where you guys are, what you want to hear about, what you want. All of this is fractal. It's all connected. Everything is connected to the one through fractality and harmonics, which is music.
Yeah.
And that's why musicians can see it.
You
have to be a musician to see it, because we see it all the time. Every day. It's what we constantly are working with. And it's just like, it's not just music that's doing that. It's everything's doing that. Yeah. And once you see that, man, then it's easy. It's really easy to see.
Yeah, Sheena says, thank you for your videos. They have been super helpful in getting me to bed at night, sleeping soundly, and reducing my anxiety. I love seeing the love you before I close my eyes. Yes, thank you for listening so much, and we appreciate that feedback. We love to hear the feedback. So
yeah, thank you very, very much. And I think that I love you is the most important thing a person should see, especially for you to bed. Gosh, you want to carry that into your dream state for sure. Yeah, and these things sleep is the most direct experience of Phi Balance, because it works. It knocks you out, and you're like, wow. And everybody has this tremendous sleep and have crazy dreams, and so it's a great way to experience it and get the full effect of what it is. But as we refine this, we're finding all kinds of really cool applications for this: anxiety relief, PTSD relief. Just relaxations, power naps, inspirational power naps to get you ready for a big business, and it has positive affirmations to bring up your self-worth before you walk into a meeting like that. And you'd be surprised what those little things can do for you. They're really, because the world beats us down, and if you can just get that little pick-me-up, that little I love you just before you go into something, man, it can give you that energy you need to tackle it.
Yep. Cricket says, what made you go in this particular direction? What was your inspiration? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, Cricket, but...
You mean with sound healing? Is that what you mean, Cricket? Or doing sleep music, or that kind of... The whole story is this is like the fourth time we've tried this, and this has been an evolving thing. At first, it began as a record label that was going to stand for positivity and goodness. Like my thinking was, and yoga was very, very new back then. This was not a big thing, as big as it is today.
Right.
But my idea was, you go to the gym or you go to yoga and you get centered again and you feel really great, and then you get in your car and listen to all this music that just beats your ego down, inflates your ego and just crushes you. And the thinking was, why don't we create a label that makes not new age music, but music for that community that was cool. That was basically the idea going into it. And we struggled and struggled. Even with all the connections in the music business, nobody was feeling that idea, and we just kept trying different things, and it didn't really work the way we wanted it to. And then Mike was playing around with some 432 stuff, turned me on to that, and I had been getting into binaural beats.
Right.
I was part of a scientific study for the University of Miami in 2011 for that. And so we had these cool things there, and we put them out, and they went viral almost instantly. We're like, okay, well, this is what the universe wants us to do. This is it. And so we've been doing it ever since. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. You know, the irony, being a dance music producer for my whole life, of getting people to shake their ass. Right. And now my biggest claim to fame is to put them to sleep. You know.
It's funny taking that as a compliment as a music maker and producer. You know that you know, I'm really good at putting people to sleep.
Yeah, it's my specialty.
It's my specialty. Something to brag about. No, I'm just kidding.
But I find like the solfeggios, not even to sleep. Like, if you guys haven't had this experience yet, if you have a good system somewhere in your house or your car, but don't get in the car and drive, just turn the stereo on, you know, seriously, you can really hurt somebody. But just turn it on really loud. Try this experience. Turn it on really loud, no headphones, with the bass really pumping, and just see if you can sit there for 10 minutes. Just see if you can last 10 minutes. And you're going to be blown away. Like, you're going to feel it in your bones. You're going to feel every cell in your body start vibrating and becoming harmonic with all that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and it works really fast too. Like, you know, a lot of people say within the first few minutes, you know, they start really feeling the buzz of, you know, the effects of, you know, the Phi Balanced stuff. So it's very cool.
I want to mention something too, by the way. There's been a couple really weird. We've had a couple of complaints about ads, and we don't have any ads in these things. Just so you know, once the thing starts, all the ads are turned off. We're not making a profit like that off you guys. We're not doing that to you guys. But for some reason, it's been glitching lately for people.
And they've been getting ads.
We want to let you know that is not us. We're not doing that.
It is not us. It's YouTube. But if it does happen to you, please take a video of it. If you can video it happening and send it to us, that would be really, really helpful.
Yeah, like, YouTube is aware of it. They're working on the situation, but until we can show them like what's happening exactly, they don't know how to fix it. So that's where we are. Mm-hmm. And it's not, you know, we're getting over 160,000 views a night, you know, and maybe I'll get one comment a day about it. So it's not happening to everybody, but it is happening. And I apologize to you if it's happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joseph says again, what an incredible guidance that is being included innately to the listeners here of Phi Sounds. I'm sure there is some select, specific, powerful help to be had by the listener on an individual basis. And I think I hope I'm understanding correctly. I guess this is kind of a question. Yes, it does take some level of like just putting the music on and exposing you to the vibrations is one level of the Phi balancing thing. But the more you connect with it, like the more you listen, and especially if you take time to meditate, you do that and incorporate it into meditative practice and that kind of thing, its effects become even more apparent and even more potent and faster and better. And so there are things that you can do to enhance the effectiveness of the music, definitely.
Yeah, it's the music alone, if you did no self-work, is going to minimize chaos in your life. And if you can, once it starts to minimize chaos, that's going to pull you into the present moment. That's going to give you the present moment awareness. That's that when you're jarred into the now, and you realize, oh wow, there's a whole other thing happening here, and that is Phi Balance. But it takes time. It's happening to you when you're sleeping, and that's why you're having an amazing experience when you're sleeping. But if you listen to it enough, you're going to carry that through the day, and you'll start hitting these points where you'll hit it without even listening to it.
Right. It'll become easier. I mean, the more your body gets exposed to it, and the more you're exposed to it, and your mind is exposed to it, the quicker you can get to these states without Phi the music. I mean, it's a self-empowerment tool more than anything. I mean, it is meant to enhance and amplify that effect, but it is definitely a self-empowerment thing. Like, it definitely is meant to help you get to a centered place faster, even when you're not listening to it. Like,
absolutely.
The more you do it, the easier it becomes, for sure. Shells says, love your work so much, Phi Tribe. Been sharing it wherever and whenever I can.
Been loving your comments.
Yes, thank you
a lot
so
of
much
comments,
for that.
Michelle.
We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And sorry if we don't get to your comment or your question. I'm trying to do the best that I can here to accommodate you guys, and we'll get to what we can. Let's see here. Tina Marie says, you should see how my students respond to your music.
Oh, awesome.
They have become more productive in class and stay focused on their reading. I teach cooking, and it can become very stressful. They become calm. That's awesome.
You teach cooking and it becomes stressful for cooking? That's like the fun course. They're stressed out cooking?
Yeah, I love cooking. That's like the thing I do to relieve stress.
Are you the soup Nazi? What's going on there?
Soup Nazi.
No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah, Tina, thank you for that comment. Though.
Thank you very much.
We're hoping to start getting and doing more definitive, hard research on a lot of the stuff that we're doing right now. It's pretty limited because we don't have anybody but you guys listening and your comments. But we're trying to get together and do like some scientific studies we've been talking about. I know.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's in the future, the near future, so we can get some of that going. And
in a way, it's the biggest scientific study ever performed, really, because we've got 100,000 comments and millions of plays. And I wish it could be more controlled and we can get a sense of it, but we know that we're not paying for comments. We know those are real, so that's amazing to us. You know?
It is. It's super amazing. The comments are
those are
crazy.
Not bots, you guys. If you guys are in there and you're like, you roll your eyes at how ridiculous the comments are, I promise you, they're not bots. Pick any name, people. Double click on it and say, hey, tell me about who you are, and it will answer you. I promise you. Those are all real people, every one of them. It's pretty amazing. Really, really amazing.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Very inspiring. So it's kind of, all that to say, it is kind of like a scientific study, sort of, without the control.
Without the control. But it would be cool to get something, a little bit more definitive in the future. But that's awesome that you're Tina, that you're using that in your classroom. That's great.
Thank you very, very much. And I've heard somebody else say that they were playing it for math students.
Interesting.
And the scores were going up.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And Tina, are you teaching children or are you teaching adults cooking? What kind of cooking class do you have? If you want to put that in the chat.
Yeah. Teach me to cook something good.
Yeah, a little Phi Balanced meal.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's deeper than you think.
Right. Yeah.
Just
right.
Yeah. You guys, listen. We're giggling because you guys have no idea how big this is going to be. Like, when we start talking about where we're going with this, it's going to blow your minds. But it's still premature.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there.
But this is a big idea.
Yeah.
This is Wild Stallions level.
We got to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which does bring us to our next point, which is fractality.
Fractality.
Which is something key to understand about Phi Balance and Phi Balance in your life and just life in general and the universe in general. Fractality is, in a short definition, means self-similar on all scales. And what that really means is that when something is self-similar on all scales, whether that be visually or otherwise, it means that things are together and there's a lot of repeating of the same patterns. We're putting this image up on your screen. This is a picture of what's known as the Mandelbrot set, which was discovered by a guy named Mandelbrot, and he did a math equation and used that math equation to create an image. And this image, as you zoom into it, you'll notice you keep seeing the same shape reappear and reappear as you zoom in, and it creates more and more detail. No matter how far you zoom into it, it's constantly creating more and more information. But the information is like the original information. It looks very much like that same thing. And the universe works on that same principle. And it's not always in the ways that we think. Like it's pretty easy to see the fractality of a tree, where it's just a big stick coming out of the ground, and then there are sticks coming out of that big stick, and then there are smaller sticks coming out of those sticks, and eventually you get to where you get leaves, and all the leaves look all the same. And, that's what makes a leaf look like a leaf, no matter what size it is. A rock looks like a rock. All rocks look very similar, whether it's giant or whether it's small. They're similar no matter what the scaling is.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's so important is because that is a part of, it does play into sympathetic resonance. And because we're going to refer to fractality a lot, guys, because it's a very integral part of the Phi balancing. And a little while ago, I mentioned that we have we put a lot of processes working together, and the processes are all similar to each other, but on different levels. And that's what we mean by our stuff is very fractal, or it has a very high fractality. Is that we are bringing details that are of the same thing, of this pushing you towards the same thing, all pushing you towards one direction, all together. And that's why it works so well, because it's not just music. It's music that's moving things into a very, very particular direction with as many possible levels as that are possible.
Yeah, if you can think of that that life itself is what's called the flowing stream of consciousness, and it moves like a river, metaphorically, right? Life just seemingly moves forward, right? And we just kind of hang on. And just like a river has these little pockets of whirlpools that kind of get off to the side, and there's rocks and there's branches and logs and things like that, and you flow down the river, if you're not careful about how you're steering, you can end up caught in one of these little whirlpools, and you get stuck, and you have to find a way to get yourself out. And what Phi Balanced music is doing is through sympathetic resonance, and you can't fight the sympathetic resonance.
Right.
You're once you lock in, you're a slave to it, and it's nudging you back out of the whirlpool, back into the major flow of what's happening, and then zoom, off you go down the river again.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not stuck in one of those little pockets, all of a sudden the world is very clear to you. It really becomes very clear what your goal in life is, what you want out of life, and what you expect out of life. Those are all different aspects of self-worth that are really integral to having a happy life. But you can't even see them when you're stuck
right
in the whirlpool. You don't even realize there's a whole river moving past you.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. And it's easy to get in those whirlpools, especially with all the chaotic, the chaos of everyday life. The chaos of how our lives, the things that occur in our lives and stuff that can knock us out of, emotionally out of sync, out of whack, or upset, and put you in one of these whirlpools where you're not moving with the continuum, And that's Phi Balance is the exact opposite of that chaos. It's really, really, really highly ordered, and that's how it pushes you into that stream. It's a representation of the stream itself. So by listening to that, or by putting yourself in contact with that, it's pulling you into that stream.
Yeah, almost like a big wave coming down the river
Right.
that just sweeps up everything that's in its path
Right.
and pulls it into the center of the river and pushes you down. It's just a current. It's a matter of current. And if you're in a life right now where you're kind of feeling like Groundhog's Day, you like that movie? I love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites, which is a very enlightening movie, by the way.
Yeah.
But Groundhog's Day, stuck in that same repeating day, like, oh God, I'm just in this routine, this pattern, and it just seems to have no end, and I'm stuck. That's the feeling that you're trying to address. The feeling of being stuck is the feeling of being caught in one of those whirlpools. So if you're saying to yourself every day that I just feel stuck, well, that's where you are. And all you just need to do is just get that wave that's going to pull you out of it, and then life will be great again.
Yeah. Tina followed up in the chat and says she teaches high schoolers,
Awesome,
grades 9 through 12 with autistic children.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great stuff to
really, really great.
Autistic children.
And,
for sure.
For just
Definitely.
so you know, like the Chakra series contain binaural beats. So do the solfeggio. And those, if they're listened to with headphones, those were actually designed to treat mild forms of autism. The initial intention of the first 7 sleep projects were for treating mild forms of autism and ADHD and ADD. Right. And it definitely works.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that part requires the headphones, but the Phi Balanced does not require headphones. You can just play that quietly in the background and it's going to do.
That's true.
Here I am. Off me. I'm back. Sorry, I'm driving and I'm not doing very good today.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right.
Jeff, we miss you. We need you.
Yeah, Jeff. We miss you, man. So let me see here. Carolyn says, thank you, Phi Tribe. So glad I found you. Well, thank you, Kara. Also, Steve says, I discovered your recordings a couple of months back, and it has been one part of my nightly regimen.
Awesome.
I'm super light sleeper, and it helps tremendously.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for the feedback.
Right
he put something else. He says, I sing for a living and I'm very familiar with the power of frequencies moving through my body. It gives me tremendous power. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the
Steve,
idea.
You sing for a living. That's awesome. We're always looking for collaborations with artists who are on this tip. So reach out to us and see what happens. Yeah.
Valerie says, I saw a YouTube video that was supposed to be Linkin Park at 4:32. Is that even possible? Or is that person just lying and saying it's 4:32? Okay, yeah. So that's, so normal music is recorded at a standard concert pitch of 440 hertz. And that just means that the A in a normal scale is tuned to that specific frequency. That's how almost all music is tuned to currently. What a lot of people are doing with these popular songs that are, quote, tuned to 432 is they're pitching them down. And most of the time, they're not pitching them down even with any integrity. They're just pitching them down like 32 cents and then saying it's 432 when it's not really 432. It's roughly 432. So yeah, it's kind of possible, but it's not really. It's not really doing anything. There's so much more that needs to be done other than just tuning a random song to 432, because the key of a song matters greatly and the notes that you hit in the song matter just as much. And so there's more than just having any random song and putting it in 432 and now it's all magically going to be like Phi Balanced or something. No, that's not the case. Like there's a very clear distinction between that and what we are referring to as a Phi Balance.
Phi Balance. That's what I was going to say, that it's not the same thing. I mean,
No.
432 is a component of it, but it's just one component.
But it is one very small component.
Small component, yeah. It hits on one of the fractal nodes that we're hitting on, and it's not even the solfeggios don't even use 432.
No,
they're
there's a lot of things that don't. Yeah. 432 is kind of the catalyst, and it's the most well known of these frequencies and frequencies that we use. And it does have definitely a potent thing to it. So I get why it's, widely used, but it is not the only frequency that's effective, at all. It's not, definitely not. And there's some validity to even 440 music. I mean, we're not saying that, 440 music is somehow inherently bad for you. But the problem with music now is the tuning is not precise, and there's no real standardization when it comes to hitting frequencies of any type, and that's just it's not refined like it could be. And so that's kind of what we're doing with our stuff with Phi Balance, is doing stuff with a greater sense of integrity and bringing another level to music, bringing a whole new, very, very powerful level to music.
Music 2.0.
Music 2.0.
Yeah.
The cream
rises to the top.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to catch up in the chat here for you guys.
Awesome.
Cosmo
Thank you guys
Girl,
for all
how's
the
it going?
questions. It's really awesome for you to participate. And just so you guys know, look, don't expect anyone to get this in one live stream. This is a teaching that I hesitate to even say it's a teaching. It's a pointing to. We're just pointing to something that is ineffable. There's no word I can say that can sum up what it is. All we can do is use a bunch of words to go. It looks like this. It's over here, and it's kind of like this, and it's all we're really doing, you know. And that is the truth. That is the truth. And the truth is the interesting thing is that the truth is not relative. The truth is the truth, and when you see it, it's undeniable. Like all of the arguing that goes on in your head ceases the moment you see it, and it's like, oh.
There are true things, but that's not the truth. That's just true about the truth.
Yeah, there are true attributes of the truth.
Yeah.
But the truth in itself is transcendent of everything. Of everything. You can see how everything fits in it, and you go, oh, that's why religion's like this, and that's why science is like this, and that's why philosophy is like this. You can quickly see how everyone's right. That's the most amazing part about it. Everyone's right.
Yes. Carolyn says frequency is the new medicine. Yes. Absolutely. That's what we believe. That is definitely the next. That's the next big jump, I think, in medicine is frequency-based stuff, and they already know that that a lot of this stuff has profound effects on a lot of applications in the medical field, and it's only going to get more pervasive and more intense and better. For sure.
When we say the smartest people in the world are working on this is like the most cutting edge science that there is right now. This is as cool as it gets. This is really, really, and they are all thinking about this in terms of medical applications, because that's where it seems to be you can get the immediate results. And then there's also the components of free energy, and there's people working on that as well. So it has a lot of factors to it.
It definitely does.
What we have in the chat, Mike?
I'm still trying to catch up. There's a bunch of great stuff. You guys are having great conversations.
Awesome.
Shells again says, so am I wasting my time retuning my music to 432 in Audacity? I wouldn't say you're wasting your time. You are definitely adding artifacts. Well, actually, it depends on what you mean by that. Like, is it if the music that you're talking about is music that you're making? No, you are not wasting your time. If you're making your music from the beginning, if tuned to 432, you're not wasting your time. What I was referring to earlier was to your comment about people just retuning songs that have already been recorded at 440. So retuning that probably isn't the best thing, but if you're making music from scratch in 432, do more of that.
At risk of sounding too woo, you're going to find that when you're tuned to 432, you're going to write very differently.
Oh yeah.
There's something about it, and I don't know if it's the alignment of the geometry involved in 432 that opens up some sort of portal of something that you just really feel like you're connected to the music in a different way. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Shells also follows up and says 440 hertz feels and sounds so disharmonious. Yes, I agree, but I also don't think it's just because it's 440 hertz. I think it's also because of what's known as temperament, but we won't get into that tonight. We'll take a that'll be a whole nother live stream.
But yeah, there is a sense of agitation in it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's there.
Yeah. It's definitely not as harmonic as other frequencies. It does have some there are some things that are are interesting about it, especially when trying to do like things with 528.
And dualistically, this goes back to our previous part of the conversation. To see the good and the bad and everything.
Right.
You can't write an aggressive song in 432. It sounds so lame. It just totally
it's
like
not right.
It pussifies everything. It just makes it just so wimpy. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Carolyn says, for collaboration, look into Trevor McGrath, Audible Alchemy. I'd love to hear what you create.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. We're always trying to collaborate. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, we would like for this to be a hub for all 432 hertz creators and people interested in Phi Balance. And part of what we're going to offer in the near future is a class teaching Phi Balance, so that you can do some stuff with us and put stuff out on our channel, and we'll promote it for you and help you blow up.
Yeah. Definitely reach out to us if you're making music in 432 or other frequencies. If you're using other alternative frequencies, like solfeggio tones or other mathematical ones, reach out to us.
The major labels are not going to do this.
No, they don't care.
They don't care. They don't care. So we had to take this on at the inception level, and that's what this is about.
Definitely. Joseph says Phi should or could be played in schools at Safe ULF, somehow reach the youth's minds. That would be awesome if we could get our stuff played in schools. But to do that, there's a lot of hoops to jump through to do that. But yes, we would love to do that and get this out to as many people as possible. I mean, we want to help as many people as possible. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of comments from people about the third eye chakra, and people using it for study. We also have a study version of that same program. But there was one guy that was in there who said he did run an experiment playing it for his students, and he noticed over the course of many of the quizzes that the overall test scores were up when he played the music and down when he didn't play the music.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. It's awesome. I mean, and we kind of suspected that we would get results as we started applying this, because it was like I just remember having these intense like aha moments about doing a lot of these things before it was really even applied. It was like, oh, well, what if we did this? What would that do? And then we did it, and I've applied it, and then now it's crazy to see that, oh yeah, it's like, wow, that really actually did a lot of the things we thought it might do, which has been really super encouraging, but also just fascinating, absolutely fascinating to me that it's actually working, not because I didn't believe in it, but for the exact opposite, because I really did believe in it. And not only that, it's just to see that happen in such a powerful way and empowering people at the same time. It's really awesome. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, well, no,
I enjoy it.
It's blowing all of our minds.
I enjoy it.
It's working. Not only is it working, it's way exceeding our expectations.
Yeah,
we had dreams of it being amazing, but it's really actually doing it, and that is like so incredibly exciting. It's wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm almost down to the bottom of the chat.
We
I'm
need more
almost
questions.
there. I know. Yeah. You guys keep throwing your questions in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that was really cool with all of this is think about the implications of this. So we're talking about self-awareness and where that leads to, and you don't, if you're at all waking up, which you probably are, you wouldn't have been drawn to this channel, but if you're waking up, you already realize what the potential is for self-awareness and the amazing things that can come about because of it. And this is what will really blow your mind, is because the sleep music works, we know that the principle works.
Right. Yes.
Right. So
yes.
It says, what does that say about self-awareness? It takes it into out of the woo. It makes it less woo and more about science and balance.
Yeah. And it's again, it's fractal, coming back to that thing. Yeah, it's all of that. I mean, because health and wellness and the health of your brain states or your physical health, all those things are in line with each other. You know what I mean? Like your physical health is directly tied to your mental health and vice versa. And when you make one part healthy, your body wants to match that frequency. That's sympathetic resonance. That's that effect of putting something in tune and other things follow. They want to become that too, and especially when that's aligned so much with everything else and you're in tune with everything else, everything wants to go that direction. I just want to read one thing in the chat because it does have to do with that. Carolyn says, frequency is where it's at. And this is how I found your channel. Frequency matching frequency. It's magnetic. And that's sympathetic resonance.
Yes.
That in itself right there, that's sympathetic resonance. And that's what we mean by that is it's not just the physical vibrations of someone's voice, vibrating matter. It's also that people connecting over an idea or people connecting over anything. All of that's sympathetic resonance, and that's sympathetic resonance on different fractal levels, and all of it together is what we mean by fractality. Is sympathetic resonance on every possible level, all moving towards one thing.
And Phi is the path to the one.
Yes.
And yes, you are right. It is all expressions of magnetism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the crux of this whole thing. It leads to a magnetic universe, and people don't like to hear that, but that's what it leads to. And we're not the ones. Listen, we're not scientists. We listen to the really smart scientists.
Don't
and
take my
this
word
is what
for
they're
it.
saying,
Yeah.
and that's going to turn everything we know upside down. I mean, this is the stuff that Tesla was ranting and raving about 100 years ago, and no one would listen to him. The guy who invented all this stuff that we use every single day was saying, no, this is how it is. And we all thought he was crazy. We thought he married a pigeon. And But no, he was trying to tell us. And now serious people are paying attention and going, wow, it's all been here the whole time.
Yeah. Sheena Williams says, as an addiction counselor, I'm motivated to try and play some of the music prior to my group therapy sessions for my clients to see what changes occur. Which would you recommend?
Let's see. I would do the 714 solfeggio, which removes toxins from the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We're getting a lot of great response from that. And also from the PTSD ones are really
PTSD
good.
would probably be a good one.
And there's also one for anxiety relief, which is 30 minutes long. Might be good for your counseling sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could play it prior. You could also put it on low, like during the therapy sessions too. Just sitting in that ambiance of the music. Also, there's a layer of stuff there at that level by listening to it, just having it on in the room, not doing it with headphones or something like that, but just having it on in general.
Yeah. And we're not frowning on the headphones. The headphones are great. You need that for the binaural, but
it's a different experience.
It's a different experience.
It's a different experience.
Yeah. I personally like it better without headphones. I feel like I fall asleep so much faster.
I do too.
Yeah.
Just putting it on, your phone, or large or small speakers, however you want to do it.
If you're not intending on sleeping, I highly recommend the big system test because it's pretty amazing. It really is.
Yeah. Valerie says, private schools can do whatever they want. Can you guys make a video explaining why Phi Balanced can do what it can do to help children that is also evidence-based? Yes.
Sure.
We are going to put together a short documentary of sorts at some point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of evidence, but it's not a lot of it is our evidence. It's a lot of work and a lot of other fields being done by minds much brighter than me.
Yeah.
But what we've done is we've pooled together a lot of people's work to create the foundation of what is Phi Balanced.
Yeah, tomorrow, if you check out our community board, and if you guys are not on a community board already, it's really awesome because this gnosis is so much easier explained in small little pieces, just small little bite-sized nuggets, and each nugget kind of blows your mind. And you're like, oh, wow, let me just process that for a minute. So anyway, go to the community section on our channel, and tomorrow I will post all of the links that we're referring to, and it's a whole page full of links, and it goes to the brightest minds in the world. It goes to all kinds of different National Institute of Health studies, all kinds of studies that were done, scientific journals, medical journals, and to the benefits of Phi Balanced utterly is utterly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's going to go by a lot of different names, 432, 528, this frequency, but it's all using what we're talking about.
Right. It's all using a lot of these same concepts.
If anything, we're exploiting it to a much higher degree. It's much higher.
It's exactly
fractality.
What we're doing. It's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Right on. Any more questions?
Carolyn also says, I'd love to add this to my life coaching. It's in direct alignment with how I teach. I'd love to discuss purchasing to add to my guided meditations. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
we would love
awesome.
to do that. We would definitely be up to do something like that. Why don't you, Kara, reach out to us? Let me think of the best way.
If you go to the contact us on the About Me page, there's a link to my website, which is Ford Productions. And in the Ford Productions, there's a contact card that you can fill out, and I'll definitely get that email sent to me. And, we've grown from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in just a couple days over a year. So we're only a year old. We're not even a year old yet because we didn't release our first video until April of last year. So we're at 100,000. So this thing has grown so incredibly fast, faster than we really expected. So please bear with us. We're catching up now.
We're a small company.
It's basically the three of us running this thing, but we're very, very excited that we're bringing in Brandon Thomas from Expanding Reality.
Yeah, he was in the chat a second ago.
Oh, was he? Oh, man, Brandon, shout out to Brandon. But he's going to be part of the team soon. So we're going to have a great team to do a lot of these things that you guys are wanting to do. So, so just be patient. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, where's our smart people? Any more questions?
If you guys got more questions, put them in the chat, please.
Yeah.
Let me see. Shell says, I have OCD. Would the ones for anxiety be best or be the most beneficial? I would say yes, probably. We don't have any specifically built for OCD just yet, but it's on the hit list. There's a lot of things on the hit list, and these do take some time to produce. So
there's general anxieties, and then there's very specific anxieties on top of that. And so each of the chakras go towards specific anxieties, and then the general anxiety would be just like the anxiety relief. The solfeggios are also very, very specific, and they're labeled on there. But for OCD, I don't know that I have anything that's specifically for OCD.
I don't.
Maybe the third eye or crown might help with that, because OCD is just an attachment to an idea. It's almost like a hiccup, oddly enough, of an idea. It just kind of gets stuck there. My mom had that, so I grew up with that, and I know what you're suffering through. So my heart goes out to you. And we'll work on it.
Definitely. We will definitely get to it. Well, we appreciate all of you guys' comments in the comment section. You guys have been busy tonight for sure.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all your feedback and your questions. And if you do have any more, please put them in there.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely like answering your questions and connecting with you guys.
Yeah. So again, getting back to self-awareness here is this is the pathway towards self-awareness. You can get there without this music, but this music's going to help you get there a lot easier. It's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Yes. Steve McCabe says, I thought about playing some. He said, I thought about playing some of this music through a PA system prior to my shows to bring the audience to a singular mindset. Is that something that is feasible?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Music does that anyway, by the way. Music has a wonderful quality of sympathetic resonance. That's why people connect to music. That's why it's emotional. But yeah, if you play the music, it'll definitely bring people into a singular mind for sure. That's for sure. It will definitely do that. But you don't want to play one of the sleep ones probably before one of your shows. You're going to have a sleepy audience.
Yeah, do the study. One of the study ones would be great. That'll do it.
Get people amped up. Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe one of the solfeggios. The solfeggios on a big system, let me tell you, man, that 528, that is going to put your audience in a very weird state for sure.
Yeah.
And probably a really cool state, but they're going to be like...
I like 528.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites, honestly.
Me too.
That's one of my favorites.
I have to... I tell the story when I was making those things. I was making the 528... every person that came, I was in this room making it, and every person who came into the room during those few days I was working on it, I would look at them and they had 4 eyes. They had eyes here and then eyes here. And then I would look and then I would rub my eyes and I would look and they still had 4 eyes. And I was like, what is going on with that? And like, it didn't matter how many times I rubbed my eyes, everybody had 4 eyes. And it took a while for that to like wear off, you know? It's nuts.
Steve says, so 528 solfeggio? Yes, 528 is a solfeggio frequency. But
it's more than that too.
But it is more than that, yeah. But that particular frequency is a good one. We do a lot of cool stuff with that. And I mean, I have a song on like a song that I released tuned to 528 on the channel as well. If you search Truth Serum, it's me, Mix Mike, Truth Serum.
Very cool.
And that one's tuned to 528.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. That's a great one for like songs, I think.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of energy to it.
And Helen You.
Helen You,
is also 528. It's a rock song.
Yeah.
And cool track. So, any more questions? We're getting off early tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we might be getting off early tonight. Unless you guys got more interesting questions or things you want to know specifically. We've kind of talked about the things. Just as a reminder, please go follow us on. We got to get Atlas in the shot there.
Yeah, I just did for a second.
Oh, nice.
He's out there. He's asleep. He's not snoring now.
Y'all go check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And if you haven't
and Twitter,
already,
we're on Twitter now too.
Yes, and Twitter. So if you haven't already, go follow us there. And if you're not following us currently on YouTube, whether you're watching it here or not, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, and that's another way too. If you want to connect to us through our social media, that's a great place too, because we do answer the comments in there too as well. So send us a private message through Instagram. Right? Or Twitter. That's a good way too. Yeah. And we'd love to hear from you. All of this feedback is really, really great. It really helps us create more and gives us a better idea of where you guys are at and how we can
create the best stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
Valerie says, do you have any songs to help connect with your higher self? Specifically, not specifically. I mean, I think all music is meant to help connect you with your higher self. If you want me to be honest, I think that's what music is. That's what it's for. Yeah. All of them, all the songs. Check it out.
Yeah.
Kara says, since my niche in transcending trauma and creating new identity, what is your recommendations? I'm not really sure what she means by that, but
transcending trauma and new identities. Yeah, I think, here's the thing about identity and self-awareness. Self-awareness is to transcend identity altogether. There is no more identity. You're identified with the moment itself. You're no longer identified with the body or the person holding the brain or the thoughts of this perspective. You're identified with just what's happening. It's all you. Mike is me, I'm me, the dog is me, the table is me, Mike is me, it's all me. Oh, sorry. I was driving good in.
You're good.
Yeah. So that's a very, really key thing to understand about identity and self-awareness. And yeah, as far as songs that are about this, they're all gonna help you connect with your higher self. By the way, we have radio music too. We don't just make sleep music and relaxation music and healing music, but all of the music on our channel is healing, and all of it is Phi Balanced and tuned to these frequencies and beneficial to you. So if you're looking for like pick-me-up tracks that are just like fun radio-inspired music that is feel good and tuned to these frequencies, then yeah, there's a lot of songs in there. And we make it a point when we write lyrics and stuff, as Mike was saying with his song Truth Serum, all of these songs are in a way about your higher self. It's about that connection to your higher self. I mean, I think, once you're bit by this bug, it's all you can really write about. It's hard to write about anything else after that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All of them. I mean, even if it's written in a double entendre, even if you think I'm writing about a relationship, like Home Again. Home Again was another big record we had, and that one also is it's about higher self-awareness. Yeah. Connecting with the higher self.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I encourage you guys to check that, and let's build this community up, and tell us how we can help you do that, and how else we can fit your needs, and yeah. And give us some more things to talk about. This is such a big, broad thing. We don't even know where to begin sometimes, because it's just a gigantic topic.
Yeah, and you guys check the community board, because we're going to be posting polls there for to talk about or to get an idea of what you guys are wanting to hear from us on these live things. So probably over the weekend or Monday of next week, we'll probably put a poll up about, we'll probably give you guys a few topics about what we're going to talk about next Thursday. So visit that, vote, and so that we can make sure and talk about the things you guys want to hear.
Yeah. Awesome. And thank you guys. You guys have been making this a really awesome ride for us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Feels good to hear from you. So, yeah, share it with all your friends, and we'll see you here again, same time, same bat channel, Thursday nights at 9. And if this time is not working out for you guys, if you want us to change this up, we were trying to be consistent every Thursday night at 9, but I don't know if we're going against some famous show or something like that. I haven't watched TV
I don't know. I literally haven't watched cable TV
Thursday night
in
football
like
or something.
15 years.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we were coming from.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. Thank you guys very much.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah. See you guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.